more leaning over to the bearish side at the moment, because if we look over here to the daily time frame, let me just do a quick top down. So if we look at the daily time frame, we can then see at the moment on NQ, price is delivering from a fair value gap, and we have like 4 equal highs, I think, up here, as we can see these highs right here, and we have some LR. So it would make sense to be bullish, right? And I am mostly bullish, but there's one reason why I'm a bit bearish today. And if you go on ES, for example, right there. So look, if we go to the 15-minute time frame, we can see price just accurately reached above that equal highs, swept it, and now starting to move lower again. So it's kind of hard to be bullish when we see that kind of price action, but of course it could be different for NQ. We just reached the yesterday's PM lows, which could mean a reversal, but yeah, we just have to watch at the moment. We do have a intermediate term low down here, as we can see. Price at the moment 930. Yeah, 930. It's pretty bearish. Same over on ES. I mean, we can also see that London session did expand very much. As we can see, it reached all the way up here. I think, let me just see how many points this is. So it's around 149 points. That's quite a lot. But basically, as I've said in my previous video, or the video I just uploaded, when we see London session expand, that usually refers to the AM session being more choppy and not that volatile. But there's some exceptions, because if you look at today, it's a Tuesday non-farm payroll, or it's a non-farm payroll Tuesday, and usually we see Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, when it's not NFP week, we're having pretty good price action. So I don't really know if I'm going to rely on the London session expansion knowledge, or just rely on the NFP week. But yeah, so we have to be flexible today, in my opinion. We definitely have to. Can you go through GU and EU as well? Thanks. Yeah, I could do a short recap. Just a short one. Let me just find. I think I have it. GU. Let me just check. And go through EU real quick. So if you look at the daily time frame, we can see, if you draw out a Fibonacci tool, from the low all the way to the high on GU, down here all the way to up here. I would probably want to see a reversal on EU, when we see price reach within a discount. So maybe like this Vivaldi gap right here, or sweep internal range liquidity, so then see a reversal. But at the moment we can see we are delivering from this Vivaldi gap right here. Basically, yeah, it is a bit hard, this one. Because if price is really bullish, this premium Vivaldi gap could do the job. But if we're not that bullish, that just depends on your bias, then we're probably going to reach lower into a premium. So that is EU. Let me just go back to NNQ again. Where is MNQ? It is right here. So yeah, MNQ at the moment we have like 4 equal highs, as we can see right here. Looks pretty bullish, but I have also said that ES is looking pretty bearish, because we swept these equal highs just barely right above it, not a lot of displacement, and start to reverse from there. So yeah, it's a bit hard to be bullish, in my opinion, on NQ, as we also see current price action. But yeah, it's pretty amazing how we created, I think, 3 equal highs at the moment. This one got swept, so yeah. I think, let me just see, ES. Yeah, as we can see, ES swept the equal highs, starting to reverse now. So yeah, let me just go back to the 15-minute time frame again. At the moment, if we just turn on, yeah, right there, we can see the PM lows got reached. I do think they also got reached on ES. No, not quite yet. So we do have a short-term SMT. I'm expecting these lows to be reached down here. As we can see, we are getting close to them. I would like to see them get swept. Maybe if you look on the higher time frame scale, it could be the reversal up to the equal highs. But yeah, it really just depends on the bias. We do have to remember that we have NFP week today, or sorry, not today. This week NFP on Friday. So definitely something we had to pay attention towards. But I would like to know if you guys are bullish or bearish today, because I'm leaning more over to the bearish side at the moment. But I could also see the reasons behind being bullish, of course. Let me just show you guys that we actually have a SMT right here. You can see we have a SMT at the PM lows at the moment. Probably also going to see a SMT at this low down here. So it could be already, let's just say that we are getting a SMT, or that's what I'm expecting. And previous streams, it's been difficult for me to find ES and NQ, going forth. So I've just made it in an order. So yeah, NQ, we've just passed the 935 mark. Now we're just waiting to see what price is going to do. Could be, I don't really want to anticipate a reversal, or I don't want to see a reversal before we have reached the lows all the way down here, because if we reach the lows, or if we reverse not reaching the lows, then the bias or the price action is probably going to be a lot more choppy, as then we're probably going to have a drawn liquidity up here, the equal highs, and we're just going to move back and forth. And once we reach one side, then we're going to distribute in the other side, and that could be for NFP Friday. But I just want to see this low get swept and then a reversal if we're bullish. That's kind of what I'm wanting to see at the moment, because as said, else we could expect choppy price action. It's not really following along ES, as we can see. ES not really following. On NQ, definitely NQ is going to have better price action today, or it's way more volatile NQ. Yeah, I could. It is difficult, because what is the Dow doing at the moment? I think, didn't we reach all-time highs on the Dow? I actually think we did, but I don't quite remember. But like reaching the all-time highs on the Dow, and we know the Dow is kind of correlated to NQ, and ES is a bit older version. That just means we could also see bullish price action going into NQ and ES. But I'm more relying on ES to be the pair with NQ, not really the Dow. The Dow I'd rather want to be like within itself, but it do have some relations to ES and NQ. Definitely in the past. But right now it's just the outsider. Not really seeing much here. Bearish price. ES is distributing lower at the moment. We're close to closing up the SMT. Where is it? Right here. We're close to making up for that SMT. Yeah, if we run out this, we're probably going to see like a double sweep. And what I mean by that is we're first going to sweep this low, and then right after that we're going to sweep this low down here. And that on the lower time frame could mean like at least a retracement. I'm just a bit thirsty. I think also ICT is starting like his live streams again. I'm not really sure actually. I think he is. But yeah. We just made equal lows with this low. Equal lows could mean, yeah, we're probably going to reach this. So what did you guys think about yesterday's week? Because yesterday's week, I think it was all right. Okay, we reached the lows. Because I did get, like, I think 1 or 2 trades in. But yeah, I tried to stay focused, because I wanted to like see what price action would want to do, because yesterday or the last week we kind of saw like choppy price action, then a lot of expansion, a lot of that. But this week have definitely been better so far. Yesterday Monday was all right, I would say. I did expect a bit more volatile price action, but it was fine. So if we get a reaction from the sweep on liquidity down here, we are probably going to be pretty bullish. But yeah, we just have to wait for some confirmation before deciding if we're going to be bullish or bearish from that sweep on liquidity. ES is strongly reacting from that SMT, as we have created a SMT right here. We have created a SMT on ES, not really following along, and we also have a SMT at the PM lows, which is significant. We are kind of seeing like a bit of reaction. If you are IVG trader, this could be something for you. This one right here, but I would rather wait for a market structure shift up here if we are bullish. Let me just draw it out for you guys. So I'd like to see a market structure shift up here if we are bullish. Right there. But we just have to see how price is going to react from reaching that low. I'm not really seeing that much of a strong reaction from reaching the low down here that I would want to see if we are bullish, but maybe we're going to get an order block right here. But I would like to see, yeah, maybe an IVG. You know, if I were to take an IVG trade entry at this IVG right here, I would wait, or I would actually enter at this order block if we're going to create one. Maybe put stop loss all the way down here and then go for 2R. But that is if you like really want to get some confirmation or want to get the best possible trade entry. Otherwise, I would just go with this one right here. This IFG. If we're going to make one up. Doesn't look like it's, which kind of like, you know, just pushing back and forth, waiting for, yeah, okay, we're probably going, no? Okay, we made a close above it. Now it's just about if we're going to see some strong reaction from this guy right here. Let's just draw it out. So let's just say, if we have to analyze this according to my trading strategy, I would first say, do we have a delivery? Well, we do have an IFG. A sell side liquidity, a sweep on sell side. Do we have a good IVG? Well, we have a decent one. It's not the largest, but it's all right. We do have an order block to get some support. Do we have a drawn liquidity? Well, I wouldn't really say that we have a drawn liquidity other than this high up here, but don't really have like equal highs other than on the higher time frame all the way up here. So I would say it's like a B plus setup. So it's all right. And let's just see what price is going to do here. It's looking strong at the moment. Hi, please show the indicators you added. Oh, you mean the New York kill zones or the kill zones? Because it's just called ICT kill zones and pivots TFO. I've made some videos about it, you know, discussing how you can use it and why it's very important to know the kill zones, etc. So yeah, price action looking decent at the moment. I just want to see if we're bullish. I want to see this Vivaldi gap getting respected, but we have already rebalanced it. So yeah, we are getting some support from this order block down here, which I said I would like to see. And if you wanted to get the best possible trade entry, I would enter off of this order block down here and then ride it all the way down up to our free risk reward ratio target, or just this high up here. You could easily go for the market structure shift. But yeah, so it would have been a stop out now. It just depends. But I want to focus on the IFG and seeing if it holds and the order block, because that would like lead into more confirmation. As we're seeing, the IFG is still holding, but it's very choppy, so I don't really want to be caught at the moment within this trade. But yeah, it's not bad. I wouldn't say it's bad, really. Yes, we have much more choppy price action, and as I discussed in my previous video, if we don't see a lot of Vivaldi gaps, we usually see bad price action, or that's just one way you could look at seeing if price action is good or not. And at the moment, we can see we don't really have a lot of Vivaldi gaps, which could lead into bad price action. But it's a different story on NQ. Because we do have a little bit more Vivaldi gaps, but it's not that much. So price action could be choppy. Maybe just wait for the 950 to 1010 macro guys. That's probably going to be a bit better, to be honest. But waiting for that market structure shift before considering taking any trade entries on the bullish side, as price action at the moment is not that good. I want to get some solid confirmation to a potential trade entry. So that's basically what I'm looking for at the moment. Okay, so it's looking good. If you want to draw the trade entry again, you probably have to have a much wider stop loss. Of course, it's hard to predict if price is going to be a lot of, wick a lot of times through the IFG. But yeah, if you were to have like a large trade entry, I would probably do something like this: stop loss beneath here, take profit at 2 risk reward ratio, because we don't really have a specific drawn liquidity, which I personally would like to see when taking these type of trade entries all the way down here. But we got a strong delivery, decent IFG, has been rebalanced a couple of times. So yeah, it's just about what price wants to do at the moment. Maybe we're going to see the market structure shift here. There is room for a Vivaldi gap if you look at it right here. There is room for that Vivaldi gap. So yeah, at the moment the trade is looking decent. The IFG is holding, which is nice to see. Yes, not really following along. That's probably what is keeping NQ down. As we can see, it's making low lows. NQ is making higher highs, I would say so. Swept that buy side liquidity or the market structure shift. If we're going to make a reversal, we're going to move lower. That's basically it. I think maybe we closed up the SMT on, yes, no, not quite yet. So we do have a SMT right here, which is one of the leading factors in price moving higher. We also have SMT at the PM session. Price reached the PM lows on NQ, but not on ES. NQ swept the lows, SMT again. So yeah. If we go over to, so we can see ES, we do have a SMT down here at the low at the moment, a short-term SMT. It depends if we're bullish, this is going to hold. If we're not, it's probably not going to hold. NQ still making higher highs at the moment. So yeah, at the moment we're kind of mixed in the bias of price action. We just have to be patient and wait for the market to reveal itself. Just gotta get some water. So we do have a small volume imbalance within here, but yeah, it doesn't really look like it's going to hold. The volume imbalance is one of the weakest ICT concepts, so that we do have to remember. Some lower price action here. Now the question is just, is the current ICT or SMT that we have created, where is it? Yeah, right here. Is it going to hold? Because right now price is just distributing lower, and we're closing out the gap. Yeah, we just closed out the gap from the PM session SMT. which is pretty bearish. I think, yeah, we just reached that PM session low. We don't want to see if we're bullish. Definitely, we don't want to see price closing out the bullish SMTs if we are bullish. That's one thing to remember, guys. So yeah, that is not very nice to see. But the good thing is we are creating some Vivaldi gaps at the moment, or it looks like we are going to, which we like to see for good price action. Just overall, we want to see some good price action. After that, we want to see some good bias. Are we going to reach this low down here? I'm looking at this low. This is my point of interest. This one right down here. This low is my point of interest. Let me just make a bit better drawing. Yeah, right there. So is price going to reach this low? That's the question. Because that is going to make up for the SMT that price just created. So if you were to take this trade entry, you've probably not been the best. You would at least have gotten a break even. We just swept this very short-term low down here. It doesn't look like it's going to be a reversal factor for price. I would like to see price just move higher at the moment if we reached a significant level. But yeah, I definitely also wanted to see some stronger reaction from the sweep on liquidity down here and the SMT on ES, but I'm not really seeing that at the moment. That is concerning for the bullish bias. So yeah. But what are you guys seeing at the moment? Because I'm just waiting to see if price reaches the slowdown here or if it reverses. Maybe, yeah, reached that low down here. So that is pretty much concerning for the bullish bias, because I didn't really want to see this low get reached. And basically the low getting reached means we're also going to disrespect the sweep on liquidity down here. And we don't really want to see that. But at the moment, I'm not taking any trade entries because we have 10 a.m. news. So I'm just waiting for that, really. Yeah, we're probably going to reach this low all the way down here, guys. Or we actually just reached that low. Okay, well, that's interesting, because now we have a much wider SMT. I think, yeah, what this low? Yeah, we have a much wider SMT. It's reminding me of the past 2 weeks, or for like 2 weeks ago, we kind of made this same price action, that SMT at the bottom. It's kind of reminding me of that. And we didn't really have that good price action at that moment, so it's a bit concerning. But yeah, this could be a huge reversal factor, reaching that low all the way down here. And I'm just looking for these equal highs up here, to be honest. But we already reached previous day's low, so. on the 2 minute time frame, I think we do. Yeah, we do have a fairly gap on the 2 minute time frame. This could be a potential trade right here, but it really just depends on if we're going to reverse from the sweep on liquidity down here. If you're a risk trader, you maybe would want to take this trade entry. But personally, I'm just sitting on my hands at the moment, waiting to see what price is going to do. Not really much here, to be honest. On ES, it's pretty much just the same. We're moving lower, as we can see. We got that large S&T right here. What more? Oh yeah, also here. So if we look at SMT or ES right here, we can see not a lot of favorability gaps other than this one up here. But if you go into 1 minute time frame, you can see we have a couple of ones, but it's not that good. I did expect a bit better price action today, to be honest, but you know, the London session did expand, isn't really showing good price action, and we also saw that price or it is NFP week, and when it's NFP or non-farm payroll week, we usually see better price action, especially now that we got like a sweep on liquidity on MNQ. Let me just show you. So right here we got a sweep on liquidity on MNQ, and if we are bullish, we should see a very strong reaction, especially now that it's a non-farm payroll Tuesday. But we aren't really seeing that, and that is a bit concerning, to be honest, because I wanted to see way better price action today, but I'm not really seeing that. So we're just waiting to see what price is going to do. And it could be the factor that price action in the London session was like 150 points, I think. Let me just see. Yeah, 150 points around there. And if we look at the New York price action, it's already reached like 191 points. So we're just waiting for potential reaction from that sweep on liquidity. But we also have to remember there is news here at 10 a.m. and that could be a huge factor for price. But yeah, we're pretty much just waiting, seeing what's going to happen. But I've seen there's 78% of people which are bullish today and 22% which are bearish, and that does make sense, because I can relate, or I can see why people would be bullish, but I can also see why people would be bearish, because they're just looking at the trend, like what is the trend? We're bearish at the moment. But if people who are bullish can look at, right, price swept sell side liquidity, we have a nice strong liquidity up here, so it's a bit mixed. We're pretty much flexible at the moment, just making either lows or highs, kind of trading within a range. Yes, pretty much doing the same as NQ right now. Looks like a bit of a reversal, but we just have to wait. Maybe if you're bearish, you could take like a FVG entry, something like this, or on the 2 minute. Let's go on the 1 minute. Like a 2 minute favorability gap. I think price closed above it, didn't it? Yeah, just about closed above it right there, as we can see. So reached another low again. Doesn't look like we're going to reverse from that low. Maybe over here, what are we seeing? Maybe there's like a high time frame favorability gap, could make price reverse. If we zoom in again, these two favorability gaps is probably what is going to make price higher. Or so right here we have a favorability gap, It has already been rebalanced, as we can see. We do also have value gap all the way down here. I think it was just reached all the way down here on the 1 hour time frame, so that could mean we're pretty bullish. To be honest, it's probably going to be what I'm looking at. As you can see, we got that strong reaction, where I'm not really sure we did reach actually. No, we didn't actually. It was just at the tick, surprisingly. Oh, oops. Let me just go. Where's yes, or in Q. Right there. So this is probably what is pushing price higher. This value gap right here. As we can see, we have reached 3 times within it with a sweep on liquidity. That is what I'm seeing being the main reason for price moving higher. 15-minute time frame or 1 hour time frame. Okay, 15-minute. Yes, it's also kind of following along. It's a bit more bearish, but I also want to see the 1 hour time frame on ES. Feel like I just woken up. Okay, so we haven't reached this low. There's SMT, or a much wider SMT right here. It's only, in my opinion, it's looking way more bullish than it is looking bearish. I can't really see a reason why price would be bearish at the moment, other than maybe like it's drawn liquidity much further down within price action. Other than that, I'm pretty much bullish. I can't really see a reason why not to be. But it just depends if we're going to respect this SMT, if we're going to run out this low, then maybe I'm going to be a bit more flexible and turn my bias into bearish. But at the moment, we're just waiting to see what price is willing to do. Nasdaq. So we have at the moment news, 10 a.m. news. That's where we reached or swept this low down here, reached into the Fidelity gap. It's looking like we're going to move maybe higher, maybe create a Fidelity gap within here. Yes, it's pretty much doing the same as NQ, just moving lower. As you can see right there. But I've seen like a bunch of people talking about like how September we might see a bit more volatile price action, you know, a bit more volatility released into the market. Which is nice because the more volatility, the better price action, or it just tends to be. So it is nice. Okay. Are we going to sweep, or are we going to reverse from the sweep on sell side liquidity? That's the question. If we are probably going to reach at least the AM highs, but it doesn't really look like there's much volatility or enough volatility for price to move that high. Maybe saving it for Wednesday or tomorrow. Tomorrow should definitely be better, guys. So if you can't really find any trade entry today, just wait for tomorrow. It's going to be way better. I hope so. Because usually I tend to see good price action during Wednesday NFPs or in a non-farm payroll Wednesday. It's like it's really nice, especially when you're catching IVGs or large reversal trade entries. That's very nice to see some price action during Wednesday non-farm payroll. But I think if you guys, what pair are you guys looking at the moment? Because I'm just looking at NQ and ES as the main pairs. Because I'm familiar with futures, that's mainly what I'm trading. I'm looking to see if we're going to make a delivery, but at the moment I don't really see price willingly reversing, or I don't really see price. It doesn't really look like it's going to reverse. That's basically it. It doesn't really look like it wants to reverse. It basically looks like it's going to make lower lows. It's kind of choppy price action, to be honest. But I'm just going to put my focus on this Fibonacci gap down here now on the 1 hour time frame, or maybe a 4 hour Fibonacci gap all the way down there. At the moment, we're just we're looking at if there's any Fibonacci gaps or order blocks that can potentially push price higher, because we want to catch we want to look at the area where price reverses, because if we don't really know where price reversed and why it did, then we're kind of like stuck with the idea of like, okay, price is now going to sweep buy side liquidity, they move lower because we saw a sweep up here. But if we know a reason why price should move higher from here and we are seeing that succeeding, then we suddenly know, okay, price is probably now going to move higher. And if we're seeing bullish price action, we can reverse our bias. That's kind of what like I'm focusing on. So we got a sweep on sell side right here, reach into that 1 hour Fibonacci gap. It's just a question, what are we going to do now that we've reached the 1 hour Fibonacci gap? Are we going to do the same as the previous Fibonacci gap, just wick all the way through it, or are we finally going to reverse if we are bullish? Potential trade entry right here. Decent to risk reward ratio. We also swept some lows on, we swept this low right here on ES, as you guys can see right here. We swept the low on ES, which could also be a reversal factor now that we have only this S&T down here. But yeah, let's just see if this Fibonacci gap or IVG trade entry is going to work out perfectly. I would like to see it. I'm going to make a close above it. I don't really see, I see like one IFG entry on yes, but not that much more than that, just to be honest. That's mainly it. Doesn't look like, maybe we're going to get a close above it now. If I were to take a trade entry like this one at the IVG, I definitely want to see like a large displacement above the IVG, a closure, and then a retracement, because that will clarify that we are going to reverse from the sweep on liquidity and the Fibonacci gap, but we didn't really get that there. And I really want to see that if we are bullish, but that we didn't get. Yes, not really following along, to be honest. Yes, it's all the way down here. Same on the 15-minute time frame on ES. Where is it? Yeah, right there. Can just move this down here. Just gotta mark this right there. Okay, what is the 1 minute time frame telling us? We just have a lot of wicks, and as I said, I don't really want to see a lot of wicks when we are bullish, or when we are getting large expansion in price action. Mm. Um, what is the 2 minute, 3 minute? So we're kind of like in a waiting phase, to be honest. We're just waiting to see what price wants to do, if we're going to reverse from bullish price action, or are we going to move lower from bearish price action. We're just like waiting to see what price wants to do. But I'm not really seeing that much at the moment. Maybe we're going to get a sweep down here. So if we're going to move lower from, we aren't really moving higher from this Vivaldi gap down here. So it's probably going to be like the 4-hour Vivaldi gap that's going to decide if we're bullish or not. We just turn this all the way to the 4-hour time frame. So it's probably going to be this one down here. And maybe we're going to reach the consequent encouragement before reversing. And it's like it's the last Vivaldi gap before the slowdown here. So we're getting like closer and closer to the low all the way down here. So it's just about if do price really wants to go all the way down here on both ES reach that low and NQ. This low. This run right here. That's basically something that we're going to look at the moment. But it's going to be, if price wants to reach all the way down there, we do have to get some significant deliveries on the way, like a Vivaldi gap retracement, external range liquidity and internal range liquidity, and all of that kind of stuff to give us more confirmation that price wants to move down there, all the way down here. And ES, if we look at ES, it's all right. It's not that bad, I would say so. But at the moment, we're not really holding the S&T. And one thing that's very important to know, guys, is that if we are going to hold S&Ts, then we have to look at what the bias is. If we're bullish, then we're probably going to make the reversal from the S&T. But if we're not, if the S&T doesn't really follow the bias, it's probably not going to hold. That's like the rule of thumb, and I would definitely recommend for you guys to write that down in your notes. It's very important to know. So yeah, ES and NQ. So we reached the consequent encouragement of the Vivaldi gap on NQ for a time frame. Let me just switch over to NQ. So we reached the 4-hour Vivaldi gap. Consequent encouragement, as we see, made a very small mohawk through that. It's a consequent reversal factor that we don't really know at the moment. We gotta wait for some confirmation, maybe a 1 minute market structure shift up here, that kind of stuff. But I'm not really trusting the sweep on liquidity down here. We didn't really get like a nice confirmation from that, or we didn't really get a what's it called now, price didn't really show us that it wanted to move higher from there. That's basically what I'm trying to say. It didn't really give that extra tip of confirmation. So we're looking at if price wants to move higher from the consequent encouragement of this Vivaldi gap right here. If it's going to, we have to look at some IFG trade entries. Maybe this one right here. This one just got created. This one could be nice. All the way up here. So if we're bullish, we want to see this market being a market structure shift, but then we got to see some strong confirmation from this consequent encouragement for the gap. Got to get some very expansion price action, volatile price action, etc. But doesn't look like it at the moment. ES, we don't really have like a Favaldi gap, I think. Oh, wait, we actually reached the same Favaldi gap on ES. So, but price action did already reach a bit further. It already rigged all the way beneath it on ES, which is kind of bearish in my opinion. But yeah, we just have to wait and see. How's the 1 hour looking? The 1 hour looking decent. As we can see, that sweep on liquidity didn't really help much. But I just want to go up to the daily time frame to get a bigger perspective. So if we are a lot more bearish than we thought, we're going to reach this low down here. If we're bullish, we're going to reach these equal highs up here and low resistance liquidity. So that's mainly what I'm looking at. But it's very nice to see that we actually got some expansion during the New York AM session compared to the London session being also expansive. So that's like a nice confirmation to see. But I'm just going to stay on the 4 hour time frame here, so let's look at what price action is going to do. ES had already closed beneath that Favaldi gap on the 1 minute time frame. Where's ES? Right there, as we can see. On the 1 minute time frame, already closed beneath it. But of course, we do have to keep in mind it is a 4 hour Favaldi gap. There has to take a lot more to disrespect a 4 hour Favaldi gap. First thing is the bias. Second thing is the 15-minute closure beneath it. The 15-minute closure is like the main closure that we want to see if we gotta confirm a bearish IFG, or yeah, in this case. So how is NQ looking? NQ looking strong at the moment, to be honest. We are getting some reaction from that Favaldi gap. So if you were to take bullish trade entries, you have to keep in mind that price action may or may not, be the best at the moment, or you just have to keep your bias flexible. So it's not like you should think, okay, I can only take bullish trade entries at the moment because of different things. So yeah, we're kind of like respecting this Favaldi right here. And once I see price disrespected if you're bullish. Still got 2 minutes. How's ES looking? Because I think ES is probably the more bearish leader at the moment, I would say, if you could call it that, because it's like deciding is going way more bearish, or it's going way beneath these point of interests that we have. For example, like NQ, it reached the consequent encouragement, kind of moving higher. ES, it just dumps right through it and maybe moves higher from there. So it's like ES is kind of like the leading bearish pair, and NQ is, taking ES up with it. Let me just see on the 2 minute time frame. How's price looking there? Whereas we do get a delivery from that consequent encouragement at the moment. It looks like it, in my opinion. We can take a trade entry up here at this IFG, I would say. So it could be nice. Then we definitely have to target this one. If you have to analyze it according to my trading strategy, then I'll first say, do we have a delivery? Well, let me just right there. Do we have a delivery? Well, we do have a 4-hour Vivaldi gaps consequent encouragement. Second step, do we have an IFG? Well, yeah, we do have IFG. First step, do we have drawn liquidity? Well, we have a decent high up here. So this would be like a B plus setup in my opinion. High, do you also look at SPX? Oh, SPX meaning like ES? Because yeah, definitely look at ES. I switch from ES and NQ at the moment to see what price is going to do at both pairs because they are correlated. So it's definitely important to know. What? Yeah, ES is moving higher with the NQ, which is nice to see, as we can see right now. NQ is leaving the 4-hour Vivaldi gap. Unicorn model. Others. Okay, guys, what is your guys' strategy? I've made like a list. It's just like a Q&A. How do these market relate to Bitcoin? Any thoughts? You mean like ES or just futures in general? I don't really know if there's a correlation between futures or the ES and NQ and ES, but you could see if the economy is not going that well, or if the NQ and ES not going that well, it's basically the leader, or it's mirroring all of the big companies or the 500 biggest companies in the USA. And if they're not going so well, we could also be anticipating, not that much money going back and forth into the market. And that could, of course, affect Bitcoin, because if there's not a lot of money, people don't really want to invest within crypto or Bitcoin. And that could mean we're not going to see we're not going to see that much volatility within Bitcoin and so. But I just stick to futures. I'm not that smart within crypto. I've always just stick to the classics, if we call that. Basically, just the futures, the NQ, the ES, and some. I have traded forex, but I just switched to futures. I saw the price action was way better in my opinion, and also ICT recommended it, so why not? But we are kind of leaving this for Vivaldi gap after that consequent encouragement delivery. As we can see right here on the 4 time frame. I just have to go to one more time frame so we can see it's kind of choppy at the moment. We're not seeing a lot of Vivaldi gaps, etc. And I want to see a market structure shift before confirming that bullish bias. That's why I've said MSS slash bullish. But yeah, we're just waiting to see what price wants to do. Definitely like to see a market structure shift before considering taking any bullish trade entries on NQ or ES. So the 4-hour Vivaldi gap, we saw a retracement into the 4-hour Vivaldi gap. After that, we saw decent delivery from the consequent encouragement, and now we're seeing price slowly move higher. But one thing that I'd like to see is that this week it's non-farm payroll. And non-farm payroll, we basically see a lot of expansion going into price, or a lot of volatility going into price action. And when we see a lot of volatility, we also see some great price action because we get these large expansion moves, etc. But the key thing is Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday is usually the best trading days within non-farm payroll. But if we see like price action not really expanding that much off of a, let's just say, if a Vivaldi gap delivery as we have down here, or just a sell side liquidity sweep on sell side liquidity, it tells us that the price action is not that good in my opinion, especially now that we have both swept this sell side liquidity, or when we had swept the sell side liquidity, we didn't really move higher, and that could of course be a lot of factors to that. Maybe price wanted to move lower into a fidelity gap like this one. But just overall, when we reach a significant point of interest, that could be, the factor that's going to make price reverse, then I want to see a lot of expansion, because else it could mean that price action is not that good. For example, right here, I want to see price reach the consequent encouragement and then just expand away. But that we didn't really see. It's alright, it doesn't mean that it's bad price action, but I want to see price really just expand a lot higher. So now, created the IFG right here. Yes, is it following along? That's what we have to keep in mind. I would say it's just following along, as we have left behind this 4-hour fidelity gap at the moment. As we can see, we also have it on ES. NQ is just responding to it way better than ES is at the moment. 50-minute time frame, or just 1 minute time frame. How's it looking? It's looking decent. It's not looking bad, to be honest. 2 minutes at the moment what we're looking at, because we're kind of seeing like a market maker sell model going into a market maker buy model. And you guys may notice that we are kind of like respecting these two FEGs right here, which I am looking at, seeing if price is going to respect these bullish PD arrays, because if price respects bullish PD arrays, then it is showing us that price action is probably more bullish. So we want to look at these very small confirmations, because when we get some of these, that just confirms the bias way more and simplifies it way more, and we just want to be trading as simple as possible. So yeah, it's price action is alright. It's pretty choppy at the moment. We're not seeing like a one direction bias. Of course, it is more bearish if we look at the high time frame, but still. We do have an IVG right here, just a small one. Don't think it's probably going to hold. So let me just switch over to NQ for you guys. So NQ, 2 minute time frame. We did have a IVG trade entry right here, but does not look like it's going to hold, to be honest. It does really not look like it's going to hold at the moment. It's like a 1.96 risk score ratio. Not quite 2 risk score ratio, but it's fine. It's almost the same thing, so. We are kind of like seeing price hesitating at the moment. It's going back and forth into this. Fidelity gap, it's not the best price action in my opinion. It's going back and forth, kind of choppy to be honest. But it's not the worst. It could be a lot worse. Like or last week, I would say that was not the best price action. But one thing that I'm very interested in is that if we go on I think it's the 1 hour, or maybe the 4-hour time frame. So look at how this low down here. This low is very interesting because price is delivering from this fidelity gap down here, and once we have both reached this low down here, we didn't get any reaction. This low, we didn't get any reaction, and now we have reached this fidelity gap down here, and the question is just, are we going to get a reaction from the fidelity gap? Because if we're not going to get a reaction from this fidelity gap down here, where should the drawn liquidity then be? Well, what do we have down here? We have a low, and this low, as we can see, is a major sell side liquidity. And this major sell side liquidity, we could easily see price reach if we disrespect this fidelity gap. So it's kind of like going down some stairs. Once you get past the first one, going to go to the next one, and yeah, going all the way down here. Price action, it's all right. And the reason I'm talking so much about price action at the moment is because price action is really just what we can rely on. Because if we are good at price action, then price action or price is going to move a lot better. And when price moves a lot better, then there's more trade opportunities offered. So that's why I'm always saying price action. I know it's a bit frustrating, but yeah, that's the main reason. So both pairs just reached this low down here, and we are going through the other side of this fidelity gap, which is pretty bearish. If we disrespect it, which it does look like we are going to at the moment, then we already know where our drawn liquidity is. It's all the way down here. And ES is following along on this bearish trend. So both pairs, we are looking at this low down here if we are going to continue this bearish bias. So it's all right. How's the 1 hour looking? 1 hour, yeah, we are left out of no more fidelity gaps to support price, sadly. So I've seen 60% of you guys are trading the silver bullet strategy. It's also pretty good. And 20% IFG and 20% unicorn model / others. Okay, I didn't really expect that many people to be trading the silver bullet. Why do you guys trade the silver bullet? Is it like because of ICT uses it a lot, or is this very simple? Because it is a lot. It is very simple. This silver bullet strategy, looking for a fidelity gap within a certain time. So, it's keeping for the simple. So we can see we closed beneath the 4-hour fidelity gap on the 1 minute time frame. Which does mean we are probably going to close beneath it on the 4-hour time frame, but the 1 minute time frame doesn't have that much of a big influence on the 4-hour time frame. So that's something that we have to remember. I just gotta get some more water. 2 seconds. Alright, so what are we looking at? Well, price is at the moment probably going to deliver from this fidelity gap right here. Yeah, I think so. It does look like a fidelity gap that price wants to move lower from, to be honest. It's like an expansion fidelity gap, if you call it that, when price is expanding lower, creating these types of fidelity gaps. Price is probably going to make a reaction from these fidelity gaps. ES is pretty much doing the same. I do like to see that the pairs are mirroring themselves, as we can see right here. They're pretty much doing the same thing, which is nice to see. But we're looking at NQ at the moment. This low is looking more and more attractive to price action, in my opinion. just expansion at the moment. We're like continuing that bearish trend. It's alright, but it's a bit boring price action, to be honest. I like to see when there's a lot of volatility and movements, and of course IVGs, but we don't really see that at the moment. It's just a bit choppy, but it's alright. It is what it is. ES is basically doing the same thing as NQ. We do have created an order block right here if we're going to make that 15-minute closure, but I'm looking to see if price wants to close beneath the 4-hour Favaldi gap. So the Favaldi gap that I've marked out right here on the 4-hour time frame, if the 15-minute time frame closes beneath it, and you might think, what does this guy mean? What is he talking about? Well, if you go on the 15-minute time frame right here, you can see that if this candle makes a candle close beneath this Favaldi gap, then the Favaldi gap, in my opinion, price is probably also going to disrespect on the 4-hour time frame. So basically, price is like, it's leading on that bearish trend. So if you close beneath it on the 1-minute time frame, we're going to do it, probably going to do it at a 5-minute time frame. As we can see, we did it on the 5-minute time frame, and that's probably going to lead to the 15-minute, 1-hour, and 4-hour time frame. So you can see how that trend is like going on. Price is continuing on closing beneath it on different time frames. So when we get the 1-minute time frame confirmation, we have to look at the 5-minute and so on and so on. And that is really, really nice to see, because if we can confirm that kind of closure beneath it, then we know the bias before it even happens, and that is very, very powerful to know. So that's definitely something that you guys should be studying. But yeah, we're just delivering from this Favaldi gap, going back and forth between it. Wow, I've already been streaming for 50 minutes, and that went fast. Wow. Okay. So, price, it's looking alright. It's not looking bad, to be honest. So we get the 15-minute closure in about 6 minutes or so. So that's probably going to be the decider of what the rest of the AM session is going to do. I haven't really seen that many trade opportunities, in my opinion. There's like one break even / small profit trade entry up here somewhere. I think it was this one right here. But other than that, we haven't really seen much, to be honest. Would have wanted to see some more, but it's a bit difficult to catch IVG trade entries when we don't really create any IVGs to the upside. We do create some to the downside, but create IVGs to the upside, and we don't really create any to the downside. And if we create the ones to the upside, we can't really use them because it doesn't really align with our bias at the moment. So it's like, price action's tricking us, it's tempting us, and we just have to wait for the next trade entry that aligns with all of our bias. That's very important. Okay. Yes, we have had, I think, 1 or 2 trade opportunities, but they're not the best. If I have to be completely honest with you guys, they're not really the best. Yeah. But I wanted to see some better price action going into Tuesday in non-farm payroll, so I'm probably going to wait for taking any trade entries until tomorrow, and hope for the best price action tomorrow. I do think we have NFP. It's like, I think it's the upcoming NFP session. I think, let me just check. So it's called ADP non-farm employment change. That's what it is. And then, so it's ADP. I don't really know what ADP stands for. But I know on Friday we have non-farm employment change. Just without the ADP. Things like before the true non-farm payroll. Interesting. What do you guys think is going to happen going into non-farm payroll? Do you think we're going to be bullish? Do you think we're going to be bearish or anything? Let me just start a Q&A, I think it's called. Yeah. What do you guys think is going to happen during the non-farm payroll Friday? Bullish, or bearish? I think that's good enough. Or you could just answer. Yeah, as I said before, this low down here looks more and more attractive, to be honest. It's looking pretty good. On ES, we're actually just consolidating, bro. Look at this. We're just consolidating back and forth, creating some LR at the moment, as we can see on both pairs, or yeah, pretty much on both pairs, I would say so. Look at this. So yeah, we're just waiting. Gotta be patient. It's very important to be patient, especially during these kind of times when the market is triggering us with upside inversion favorability gaps. 2 minutes until the 15-minute closure. That's probably going to decide what the bias is going to be, if I have to be completely honest with you guys. Not really seeing any reason for price to reverse at the moment until we reach this low. So this low is probably going to be our main target, guys. Write that down for notes. This is probably going to be the main target. Let me just check. How low is it? It is. Let me just check. 19,139, guys. Write that down. In my opinion, you should definitely write it down. It's something really to keep an eye on. So 19,139. Okay. Yeah, we're probably going to get a closure beneath it now, to be honest. Because price, as we can see, it's... Yeah, we're also going to get it... Oh, okay, I think I know what's going to happen, to be honest. Because price is going to close beneath it on the 15-minute time frame. Going to make a retracement. Trick buy side or trick buy orders. Or trap buy orders right here, as we can see. Reach this order block, creating a balanced price range when we move lower. See that? So order block retracement after closure, triggering buy orders, going lower, creating a balanced price range. That's what I'm anticipating. So we got a closure, guys. And that means we're probably going to close beneath this favorability gap on the 4-hour time frame, maybe. Probably also on the 1-hour time frame. And we're probably also going to reach this low all the way down here, 19,139. So that's basically it for the AM session, guys. We do have like 15 minutes, so I'm gonna just end off the stream here, because I think it's got I think I said what the most important things going into the AM session here. So I'm gonna just leave you guys with what you got now. So yeah, see you guys.